Welcome
forget
back
at
to Rhythm
this.
and Roads, everyone. My name is Joshua Jacob. I'm your host. We have a very special guest with us. We have filmmaker, photographer, and actor Adrien Zavala from Las Cruces, New Mexico. So, welcome, sir, to Rhythm and Roads.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good. Glad that you are on Rhythm and
It's a
Roads.
huge privilege.
Story. So, yeah, and when I first met you was at the Las Cruces International Film Festival. So it was really cool to talk and get to know you a bit. But here we are to get to know your story. So it's gonna be really interesting to see your journey from a filmmaker, actor, photographer. Of course, you have a lot of collections in the back, so that's probably another story right there. What do you call those um, toys that you have back there?
The Funko Pops.
Yeah, those. I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's just like a
That's what.
honestly, it was my best area of lighting. Okay.
No,
It
that's
was
fine,
my
man.
best area of lighting right here. So I was like,
That's
plus
cool.
it makes a cool background.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure people are gonna watch it and be like, yo, what does he have? What
I
does he
know.
got?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder what he. Actually, my brother gave me one of that um a while back, and it's actually Marty from Back to the Future. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Classic choice.
yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. I never had one of those until now, so it's been a while since I've had it. But
Mm.
all right, man. So let's get to know your story. So, as you are a filmmaker, an actor, and photographer, um, I guess when you were at a young age, what sparked the interest to want to pursue being an actor or do the film? Was there some movie that you saw when you were young that you're like, oh, that's what I want to do? Maybe you were inspired by an actor already and out there that you were just like, I want to do that as well. I mean, what's the story behind you, dude?
Honestly, um, my path to filmmaking and acting started before I even knew what acting and filmmaking was. My biggest intro to film was Steven Spielberg's 1993 Jurassic Park, the
Ooh.
OG, the
Good
classic,
one. Yeah. Good
and
one, man.
that ma the magic of watching that film through my childhood, and even today, it just still captures me. But
Yeah, it's a good one.
for the longest time, since I was like so obsessed with dinosaurs, the longest time
Yeah.
I was obsessed with wanting to be a paleontologist.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that was originally my plan. And then once I started seeing more, yeah, yeah. So I wanted to study dinosaurs. I wanted to go out there and dig up bones. And then I started going to school for that a little bit. I'm like,
Oh, you did.
this was
Oh.
a lot more than I thought it was gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I try
Yeah.
to dabble into that. That I like because I was like set determined, like I'm gonna go out and go find my own dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then after the time frame, you're like,
And so,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize until movies were a thing, until I guess the person that showed me that being an actor was Matthew Broderick.
Oh, okay.
He was the main actor in Inspector Gadget and Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay.
And my young mind at the time was like, why is Nick from Godzilla Inspector Gadget? And then that's when the machines and the gears started clicking and connecting. It's like, that's what a movie is. That's what acting is.
Mm, yeah. You're
And
talking
then
about
it
the
kind of
actual
just
Disney
opened up
channel.
my mind.
You're talking about the Disney movie Inspector Gadget, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, I
one.
think it came out in like the late 90s. I
Yeah.
can't remember what
Like
exact year, what
98,
year, but
99 around there. Yeah. But that's a good movie.
that was like the first time like seeing somebody in like two different films. I was like, what's going on here? I'm interested in this now. Like,
Yeah.
as,
And then that,
and
wow, so that did it,
I
huh?
would say that I started pursuing. Yeah, that actually did.
Wow.
So, and then it took me a while to click there, but through some learning and life of childhood and realizing that movies weren't just all real things happening on the TV that I could just see over and over again. And I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta see what this is about. And then in middle school, I discovered theater,
Okay.
but I had a hard time getting into it. But it was like something I always wanted to pursue because I'd see a bunch of my friends in like these plays and productions.
Mm,
But since I wasn't really informed, I didn't get into like my first theater production until high school.
mm.
And I did my first onstage play of Pirates of Penzance. And that was just a huge life-changing experience. I fell in love with acting and being on stage.
Wow.
And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be an actor.
There you go.
And
Wow.
shortly after that, uh, I did my first audition for an independent film that came to our town here in Las Cruces. And I just kind of like everybody else, they were looking for high schoolers, age appropriate students for the roles.
Yeah.
And I just auditioned. I tried my best. I was hoping I would get it. And about like 2 weeks later, I get called into the principal's office and she's like, congratulations, you got the part. Actually, for I think 2009's Becoming Eduardo, directed by Rod McCall. That was
Oh,
my
wow.
first film role.
Wow,
And
man.
that was such a cool experience.
And that was in Las Cruces, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
The
cool.
audition was here in Las Cruces, but the majority of the filming that we did for the film was actually in TRC.
Oh, really? Okay.
So getting to get travel over there and being a part of the set and seeing like a full production set going on and being a
Yeah.
part of it was like
Oh,
a
man.
huge learning opportunity. I got to meet so many cool people
Yeah.
and finally just being part of a movie set was like, oh my God, this is it.
Man, I bet that was so great experience, huh? As your first. Yeah.
I felt really fortunate and lucky. I feel like I kind of manifested it because, like I said, I was like really hoping to. It was my first time auditioning ever for a film
Wow.
production. And so I felt really grateful actually getting to have that opportunity. And then I learned so much from that. And I learned so many people that I still actually talk to and work with today.
Is that
So I'm
right?
really
Okay.
grateful for that experience.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
a
man. That
lot of
you,
the
yeah.
people that worked on the crew,
Wait, what about the crew?
it's funny, I'll like bump into people and then we'll be like, hey, what's
Oh,
up?
yeah.
I'll still see some of them today. They work on other productions still going on in Mexico, and we'll see each other. Like I saw some at the film festival that we met at. We'll
Oh,
be like,
okay.
"Hey, how are you?" It's like, "Yeah, we're still working. Let's go."
That's cool, man. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys stay in touch. It's important, you know. Don't lose the connection with you guys.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
absolutely. And that's like one of the things I love about the film community here is like everyone's like so connected, and even
yeah.
though it's so small, everyone gets along with each other really well.
No, yeah. No, I totally agree. I actually really enjoyed being out there in Las Cruces during the film fest. It was a great experience. Everyone was so welcoming. Just very, it feels like you know people for so long when you just met them the first day, the way you just connect, you know. So it's been a great journey.
Exactly, and that's how I felt with us. Like we got to hang out a couple of times, like personally, just one on one with each other. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
this
we went
guy's
to
super cool.
Grounded. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool.
so I'm really glad we got to have that quality time together.
Yeah, man. And so that journey from that point of you being in your first role, I mean, that was cool. Was there, what happened after that? Was there more opportunities? I mean, what other projects have you been in?
From there, I did a couple of more stage productions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like local school stuff, but like the experience of doing like musical theater stuff. I did like a various of like like what's that like we do like random songs from like Chicago and Oklahoma and the Sound of Music. music.
Oh, really?
My
Okay.
teacher, Megan McQueen, was like a great teacher and mentor. And so I don't know if I could do singing or musical now. I probably have to like really like get into it, but like the phase in my career, learning all that and being part of
Yeah.
that was also really helpful, and it like really got me into like being prepared for like my acting career. So I
Right.
was really grateful for that opportunity. And
Wow. Okay. Well, I do want to ask you, as you have gone through this with acting and then filmmaking as well, have you done any shorts of your own, like you directed a film?
I actually directed one film myself. It was for a school project. I had gone a couple of friends together. I don't know if you could find it online. This was like right in the early days of like YouTube, and I didn't really know how to do that. So I'd have to like find it and upload it somewhere. But I technically have directed, and that was a fun experience, especially like when you get all your friends together
Yeah.
and we're like, all right, guys, we're making a movie now.
Yeah, it's always yeah, especially when you have your crew and just everyone has their own.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I bet it was. Yeah, I bet it's a. I mean, it's definitely for me when I'm doing it with my friends with certain films that we're doing. It's just like it's a different experience, you know? It's fun. So, do you plan on directing
Oh yeah.
any?
Plus,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But to answer your question, I would like to direct. I don't know if I would like to fully be a director full time, but I have directed a couple of times, and I do like the experience. Some of the work I'm currently working on right now, it's self-made projects that I'm writing, and I would like to direct them so I could have like the creative control and vision and bringing those stories to life. So I don't know. I really am more passionate about acting and being in front of the camera,
Yeah.
but I would like to also take my time to be behind the camera
Okay.
and also try and build those visions and bring them to life.
Well, I've heard this before, and I want to see if you agree on it. But I feel like being in theater, you get more of the acting experience. I'm sorry, the directing experience of learning how to direct because you've gone from the fundamentals from theater, from being a theater actor, and you kind of learn stagehand and everything around that. Is that true?
I would definitely, hopefully, wholesomely agree with that. Because especially just being right there in front of the directors, seeing how they tell everybody and control the settings to bring the vision to life, it's very intriguing to watch them and seeing how they do what positions they tell the actors to make, how they want the stage to look, the lights, everything. Because it is a teamwork, and but when it comes down to it, it's like a lot of people see the director and be like, "This is your name that's headlining this. How are you going to do it?" So I
Wow.
do
Yeah.
believe that, especially like in live theater, you do get to see that experience of being a director, and it really does show you how much they have to put into it, and it's really inspiring.
Yeah, I bet. And a lot of work too, but in the end, it's well worth it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
For your photography, have you done anything lately in that field? Because I actually like photography. I like scenery, especially when it's pertaining to music, like music artists, how they have their certain, the way they, I guess, out there in the scenery, like they add them in their shots, and it just collaborates really well. Like an example from U2, the Joshua Tree album, that the photographer for that was just great. What he did with the band because they were out in the desert next to the Joshua tree. And it just, I mean, just the scenery itself was just beautiful. But I mean, for you, what's your style of photography?
Um, well, currently most of the stuff that I have done is just nature. Normally, like I'll go out and like whenever I'm like on a hikes or I'm going to the park, I'll see something, um, and I'll get really intrigued by it, and I'll try and like see how I can capture it on film. Because that's like one of the beauty of things, like when you, especially like when you go outside, is like you capture these one-time events that nobody's ever going to see again and that you're never going to see again except for that one time. So it really captures like, how do I capture this and make it look unique and still like show this wonderful experience that I'm getting to witness in real life. So that's what I mostly try and do. I haven't really done photography with other people before most of the time. Um, it's kind of hard finding volunteers for that.
Really? It's hard
And I
finding
feel like
finding
whenever I try and do
volunteers.
myself, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Oh,
For me personally, I'll try to ask people, but then like we have scheduling conflicts most
mm,
of the time. That's like the biggest thing of it. So it's like, okay, well, we'll get you next time.
yeah. No, yeah, I know that feeling too. The scheduling of everything is always like, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
don't, I
it's
mean,
like you're free
hopefully,
that day.
yeah. But you know, scenery though, it's nice because I mean, at least it gets you out. It lets you put in yourself in that just being in the moment with nature, and it's sometimes good for you, you know, just to clear your mind, and just embrace the beauty of just nature, you know. And so as you're taking those photos, it's sometimes good to be on your own, you know, surrounded by just the
Oh
beauty
yeah,
just
absolutely.
of all that. Sometimes I like to do that, just go on my own and enjoy, you know. Sometimes road trips to Rio Doce on my own and just enjoy. So,
Well, that's actually like one of my favorite places to go to. I was actually there recently, and I was just like walking around the pond, and that's where
mm,
I see a lot of the stuff that I really like or get intrigued. Especially like I'll see like some of the ducks going into the pond or coming
yeah.
from it. I'll be like, yes.
What part of Rio Doce is that?
It's normally I usually go by that Inn of the Mountain Gods
Oh,
where
okay.
they have like their giant pond right there. I usually like to walk around there.
Okay. Yeah, that is a nice area.
I haven't gone, but normally when I do go, it's that's sort of the resorts where I go.
Okay. Yeah, I actually like it in the
So one of
mountain.
these days I'll have to go to like a camping trip out there.
Yeah, you should, man. Or you just for one night stay at the hotel in the Mountain Gods. It's nice.
Exactly. Yep.
I've done it. I've stayed there by
Sorry, I didn't mean to
myself.
cut you off.
No, it's fine. I've stayed there by myself at the hotel and it's pretty nice. I just do, you know, make a trip for myself and stay there and enjoy the experience, man. You know, just sometimes you need that you time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's
So,
very affordable too. That hotel is not too, it's not like a Las Vegas hotel.
oh, I know. I like to try and go when there's like good deals over there, and then
Yeah.
I get to like enjoy a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I didn't have to break the bank to come over here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, like, I think the good time to probably go would be late September, October, because that's a little outside of like, I guess, summer events. Like right now, it's pretty high because it's summer, or holidays, you know, just avoid all that. But if you go just like a slow time, maybe late September, mid October, it's usually slow. But then once comes November and December, well, yeah, the prices are definitely up.
Oh yeah. So we'll definitely make plans for it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it works out for you to go.
But,
So one thing about you know, I guess with life too, which real quick on this on rhythm and roads is like, you know, there's also loss, there's also, you know, how to take care of yourself, how to build yourself, how to reset yourself, how to find yourself, and actually ask yourself, why do I do what I do? Why do I do this? Why do I love film? Why do I do photography? Why am I an actor? And it's always a good reminder, you know, to ask at times in your life to kind of just, why do I do this? And when you ask yourself that and those answers come to you, may not come to you right away, but when they do, you know, it kind of sparks that fire to continue, or it could also help you to realize, well, maybe I need to drop this and focus more on this, you know? And so sometimes I've been through that where I've asked myself, why do I do this? Or, you know, why am I doing this? You know, and So it's good, but also loss of like, I lost my mom almost 4 years ago, actually 4 years ago, to cancer, and it was definitely a life changer, still is. I lost a close friend of mine this past March. He was my dad's best friend, but he passed away. But he looked at me as a son as well because he didn't have any kids of his own. So knowing he's known me since I was a kid, and he's my dad's high school best friend, there's times where he did treat me like a son, and I'm truly grateful for life lessons and things, advice that he would share with me. But with this journey that we're in, with these people that we have lost, or just it's good to kind of like ask ourselves, well, I mean, we're still here, we're still alive, we're still breathing, we're healthy, and we have that skills of different talent, of skills of photography, skill of acting, being a filmmaker. And so you ask yourself, what can I do to really just help to leave a my mark in this journey, to give back? Not give as in money, but it could be giving my time, helping a friend out, taking a friend to lunch, just being a support for those that are struggling, and that's kind of why I am at this point where yeah, I think it's best to at times try to give back, give back to friends, community, family. And like I said, it doesn't have to be money. It could just be, hey, instead of thinking about me, what can I do for you? Hey, I've been through that. I've lost a family in my life. I know how it feels. Do you want to talk about it? Hey, let's do a film together. I think it'd be great if we can collaborate. I love your ideas. And yes, I love directing, but I want you to direct. See, it's always like different switches, and that's okay. So,
Yeah.
you ever been through anything in your life where you've lost, or maybe just feel like, I need to just reset myself, restart?
Um, yeah, actually. Well, first off, I'd like to say I'm sorry about your losses, especially for your mother and parent figures. I myself, I personally know that it's like I actually lost my dad 2 years ago.
Oh
Gonna
man,
be 2 years in
wow,
August.
too.
I also lost my dad to cancer.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Yeah, and thank you for what you said about my mom. Yeah,
So
but man, dude, yours is recent. I didn't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry about your dad, man.
it's thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
were you very close?
oh yeah, I was like my dad was my best friend.
Yeah. See, same with my mom, man. Just yeah. I mean, the reason why I asked that, if you're close, because surprisingly, there are times where you know kids are not that close to either their mom or their dad. And so.
Oh yeah, no, my dad was definitely a tough love type of guy, but at the end of the day, he was like one of the only people that always wanted better for me to push myself, and like he'd see the steps I would try and make in my career, especially with all the auditions, getting equipment and
Mm,
everything. He's like, "All right, you got this. I believe in you."
yeah.
And every time I feel like I would step back, and he's like, "You've been doing all of this." He's like, "Don't stop now. Just keep on going. Just put yourself back together and get back to it."
Hmm.
And then it's been quite a tough transition, and I know regardless if it's been 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, I mean, just that impact of having that loss and just trying to process it every day is just quite a challenge. I know sometimes I have like my good days and then my low days where I'm just thinking about it and like I could really use his help right now, or I would really like to be able to ask him for his advice on this situation or what's going on currently.
Mm,
And then, I feel like, in a way, one of the things I liked about film, especially with like grief and loss, because none of us know how to personally handle these things. You just do it on a day-to-day basis, and every day is different. But one of the things I kind of liked about film was like it kind of taught me how to like process grief and that you shouldn't let it consume you. It's like, yeah, you're gonna have your days, you're gonna being to go through, but you still have to live life. Like you said, we're still here, we're still living. We still have to keep on going forward.
Mm,
And not just about just like loss and grief, but like all areas of life. That's like one of the things I really love about film and television. And one of the things that really drew into me is like I learned a lot of life lessons and like how to act and how people interacted just because of film and television. Because I was a very introverted growing up, so a lot of the experiences I never got to personally experience, I would witness through film and television, and all these life lessons I'd get to see. Some I got to experience myself, and I knew how to handle them. But it was like I had an idea of like how I should manage things or how I should be able to process things through stories and characters that I saw in film and television. And so
mm.
that's kind of like one of the things I found very helpful throughout my life is it's like, oh, I've seen this before, or this is how this is processed through some people, and maybe that'll help me out. And sometimes it does. And so that's one of the things I really liked about it. And one of the things as a filmmaker myself is like I would like to be able to do that. I was like for someone that's going through life through a struggle or questions about something, I would like to have stories out there that I've made or been able to contribute to that someone can watch and be able to help them out.
Mm.
It's like if you're having troubles at school, if you're having troubles at home or work, just whatever you're going through, I'd like to be able to have stories that have solutions to issues. And if I can do anything to help someone else through an issue and help them better themselves or their lives, that's something I would like to give in return and return back to the world.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that, man. Yeah, and that would definitely help a lot of people in doing films like that, little shorts or feature. But yeah, and one thing, it's okay to get help too, like counseling. There's no shame in that. There's not like, well, I don't want, no, I've actually gotten quite a bit counseling from my late mom and certain things. It's okay to do that, to find that help. Work, if you, depending on your job, but some jobs do with your insurance provide certain contacts that they're associated with for those that do need help. You get free counseling or certain discount, something, but it does help. My brother's been through it, some of my friends, just to talk to someone other than a close friend. I'm not saying it's don't talk to a close friend or family, but sometimes when you talk to a counselor who's actually educated and knows how to deal with grief and loss or how to deal with life on how to help someone, it's different. And of course I do
Exactly.
talk, yeah, and of course I do talk to my close friends too. I have my circle that I talk to about stuff and they help tremendously in helping me out and I help them out as well. But then there's times where it's okay to actually get professional help and counseling and how to deal with the loss of a parent or a friend or something. But yeah, man, I mean, I hope it works out for you to do these short films that will help leave a mark and help others, just get that healing, get that inspiration, get that just the journey of life of just letting them think, like, yeah, let's I feel like we're so privileged right now just to do more. We can do so much more, but sometimes we hold ourselves back because of fear, because of just our belief, and sometimes I've been through that where I'm just like I'm holding myself back and I can't hold myself back because in the end it's really you. I mean, you're gonna have support, you're gonna have your little fans that you have, but in the end it's really you making the moves, you know. It's really you that
No, I
rises
know.
up, you know.
I definitely understand. I sometimes go through those phases of like self-doubt and self-consciousness, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Or like, am I doing this right? And it gets overwhelming at times. And depending on the day or the situation, I kind of try and use that as fuel to
Yeah,
help me push myself. But there's like other times where I'm like, it gets a little overwhelming sometimes, and then I'll step back for it. But then, like after I process it and go through it a little bit in my mind,
yeah,
um, I'll try and come back to it after a certain amount of time, and then I'll be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. So it's like it was just all in my head, and I was just overthinking of it. So I definitely understand and relate to that.
yeah, man. And I'm actually, I I can relate too on the overthinking. I feel like there's times where we do overthink on stuff, and we're like, why am I thinking too much on this subject or this? Just do it. Like, just it's gonna be okay, you know? It's like stop trying to figure things out on that. Just do it. Just start, you know? But you know, the greatest experiences of life is when you actually learn from your experiences, when you actually do it. And then if it doesn't work out, at least you learned, but really learn from it, you know, really, wow, this is my mistake, but I'm learning from it. Oh, wow, I tried it, but it didn't work out, but this is probably why, so I know what to do next time. And it's okay. It's not that you're a failure. It's not like you can't do nothing in your life. It's like, no, all the great directors out there and actors, they've started where they failed, they messed up on something, made mistakes, and then in the end, they got back up. Okay, I learned, move on. And then that's how they got to be where you be. There's really no formula to just being at the top without the foundation of experience. You know what I mean? So experience at
Oh
as your
yeah,
foundation is
and I,
definitely the key, I believe.
and then just kind of going off of that. I know it's said a lot, but like it's like one of those things for me, anyways. I had to like personally experience to understand is like don't be afraid of failure, and if you do fail, use it, learn from
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
use it towards your benefit. So like, all right, this happened, it didn't work. What can I do to reach this point or get to this point or whatever I need to do that didn't work last time?
Hmm.
I know everyone wants to be perfect. I'm still like that myself. I want to try and do everything perfectly the first time, and that's not the case. And that's one of the things I'm just still constantly trying to work on all the time. I'm like this perfectionist, and like I get so afraid to do something because I don't want to mess it up or I don't want
Right.
it to look bad, and so I hold off on it. But then by not doing it, I'm not bettering myself or getting whatever I need done.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
like one of those things that like I work on is like I need to stop being afraid of failure or failing and just do it. And if I do, just learn from it and pick myself back up.
that's right, man. That is totally right. Well said. Well, Adrian, I want to say thank you for coming on Rhythm and Roads to share your story. And I'm glad we could relate on certain life experiences that we're here to help. You're not alone. We're not alone. We have those out there that are there for us too. And it does take time. Healing does take a really lot of time. It does take time. But just continue to do what you are passionate about, find ways to do it, create new ways. It's okay to get the help if you need the help. Counseling, I definitely been through it. But also for those, I'm just letting, for those watching, if you need the help, it's there as well, available. But yeah, just be the light of inspiration to others. We're here to give, we're here to help, we're here to be what we can do in what we have. It's not just always about Josh or Jacob or Adrian or this other person. It's like, well, what can we do to really be of a change, and to help others? Because that's mainly what life's also about, helping others. So, all right, Adrian. Well, thanks for coming on
Exactly. And
too.
then, no, like you said,
Yeah, man.
all right, thank you, man. It was a huge privilege. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you next time.
Well, I want to ask you, for those that find you on social media, how can they find you?
Uh,
Freaking-
um, on social media, all my socials are the same name. It's gonna be my full name, Adrien Zavala.
Okay.
I've been able to capitalize on that. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's gonna be all of that.
And
So
then
yeah, follow me on
any
there, guys. Uh,
any projects that you are doing that already, well, not maybe what you are doing, but some that you have already available to watch. Is that on YouTube?
yes, I do have a couple of projects on YouTube right now. Um, there's a couple of shorts done by Media Film Productions on YouTube. There is a short called Behind the Scenes and Sentinels that I
Okay.
did with a former associate of mine. And if you can look it up, I don't know if it's on, I think if you go on Amazon, you can probably find my first film, Becoming Eduardo. And most
It's
of the
on
stuff I've
Amazon?
done now is just like back. I believe so. I'm not entirely 100% sure because it is an older film,
Oh,
but I
okay.
believe if you look it up, maybe it might be on there. So I just have my DVD copy of it, and nobody uses DVDs no more.
I still have DVDs.
Oh yeah, I'm a big physical media guy, man. Trying to keep it alive.
I'm still the same way with CDs. I actually like sometimes buying CDs.
Exactly. See, that's why I love you, man.
'Cause the
So I can keep
cover
it.
art, the look, just owning it, you're like, yeah. When it was digital, you're like, well, I just hear the song. I want to actually hold the cover art. I want to look through the pamphlet. I want to read the little descriptions they would have in there. That's what I always looked forward to, man, and it just sucks now. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know, but
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
yeah,
I'm gonna like I'm spending the money. I
yeah,
want something to show for it,
yeah,
and with
exactly.
physical
Yeah.
media, you do.
Yeah, and digital media, it's
It's
like,
like I'm
yeah,
getting
you hear the
charged.
song, but something about owning the product and looking through the pamphlet and then putting in the CD, and it's just like, oh yeah, here it is. Or when you open up the CD and or the actual,
Absolutely.
when you actually open up the album, the actual, CD out, the actual CD, it just there's a scent of a smell that you smell. You're like, oh wow, it smells new. Just like something about the pamphlet, you're just like, it's just something you're like, oh yeah, this is it.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Whenever I get like a brand new like movie or like a CD, like in that case, I'll like pop it open and be like,
Yeah, I remember that,
this is it.
man. Yeah, there's certain scents that you're just like,
It's
come
like that
on,
new
man.
car smell, but for the movies.
Yeah, exactly. The new car smell, but it's for the CD or the movie or the vinyl.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah,
like,
exactly. You have
ah.
to do it after opening because after that first day, it's gone. It's like
Yeah, exactly. That one moment of opening it up is a beautiful moment. That's funny.
exactly.
Anyway, yeah. All right, man. Well, it was such a pleasure to have you on Rhythm and Roads to share the journey, the story. I'm sorry again about your dad, man. 2 years. I mean, that's very recent. Mine's 4 years with my mom, but yeah, man, 2 years is still pretty fresh, very fresh, even for mine. Um, but one thing I've had people tell me, just surround yourself with your close friends, your circle, the people that have been there for you since that, just yeah, every now and then, yeah, reach out to them and let them know how you feel. It's okay to, seek the help as well. But or just also just stay, because the thing is, we could stay busy doing stuff, but then if we're not really taking care of within here of healing, then it's just more of a band-aid, just putting over by being so busy, without actually taking care of the healing process. Because for us to be 100% to do what we love doing, we also have to be 100%, I think, at times, what I feel, is being 100% emotionally, mentally, physically, you know. So there's times it's okay to take breaks, just be like, hey, I'm gonna take a few weeks off or a month off from doing what I love just to take care of me, maybe read some books, go on a trip, something. I don't know. But yeah, man. We're here for you, bro. You're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Adrian, it was
I
a pleasure,
appreciate it,
bro.
man. And same here. I'm always here. So
Oh, thanks,
whenever you want.
man. Sounds good, bro. All right, guys, thanks
All
for
right.
watching.
Thank you again, man. That was a huge privilege. Glad we got to have this talk.
Yeah, I'm glad too, as well. Yeah, it was a good talk. So, but all right, everyone, thanks for watching on this episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a great week.